Hi, I'm Jeff Abrams. I'm from Princeton Orthopedics, and I'd like to speak to you about a common operation that we're doing on patients in our community, rotator cuff repair surgery. As you know, we've had a great deal of success in improving patients' symptoms of pain, but not always improving strength and always returning function. Early intervention would be an important aspect of this. When we deal with patients with rotator cuffs, we're dealing with patients with pain, strength deficits, and often a loss of function. And so our goal with arthroscopy is to improve their shoulder and return them to former activities. There has been an index created in Korea that has designed to identify patients at risk, those over 70, multi-tendon tears, and degrees of tissue retraction. But also think about the muscle tendon unit and the weakness in the muscles that can develop as atrophy that's not always reversible. So between the muscle quality and the bone quality, there are other issues that we need to take into consideration when we're looking to see which patients may not have successful treatment. So why would we consider augmentation? Well, we can identify certain patients who are at risk for recurrent tear or incomplete closure that's not desirable. Secondly, the first attempts at surgery is probably the most important because repeating the operative approach towards a rotator cuff repair probably has less than 50% success when we look at the literature. We want to know, did the patient live with an intact cuff after their index surgery, or was this a shoulder that really never was in a better place after the surgery? So continued symptoms is a concern for us that the initial operation really didn't heal the way we'd like. When to do postoperative imaging? Well, not every patient requires this, but individuals who have not had their expectations met will often get an MRI, and in many times, it's either incomplete healing or a recurrence of a defect in the attempt of the first or index operation. This clearly was the best opportunity because repeating surgery is not such a successful outcome, and that's why we may consider at least augmentation to our patients who are having failed index surgery and repeat arthroscopy. I'd like to introduce a number of cases to you of these individuals having a bioinductive scaffold of the BioBrace. This will be a first patient. He's a 60-year-old builder, and he had prior surgery to his shoulder with failure to improve. This is a patient who's had previous surgery to his shoulder with incomplete healing. And the question really is, can you get this tissue to heal with additional tissue? This would be the BioBrace that we're assembling on the outside of the shoulder with sutures and bringing it in through traction sutures through the muscle tendon junction and lateral fixation with a knotless anchor. We'd like to see what this patient looks like as he has returned to his activities as a builder, in this particular case, about 11 months following his surgery. I want you to bring both your arms up over your head, straight up and down. Bring your elbows down to your side and bring your arms apart. Put your hands up your back. If you had to rate your right shoulder, 100% is a normal shoulder, 0% is no shoulder, where would you call your right shoulder? You don't have to put it down.
I'd say it's 90% at this point.
Okay. You had surgery before you had the graft.
Correct.
Where would you put your shoulder at that point after the first surgery?
It was never at 90%. I mean, maybe 75%, and the surgery lasted about 2 years.
I'd like to show you a second case of an individual with a larger tear. Again, you could see the deficient supraspinatus along the upper glenoid, and after closure, we now are using the bioinductive scaffold BioBrace to incorporate the native tissue and complete the repair by sewing the native tissue into the margins of the BioBrace. Since we are trying to achieve patient satisfaction, the value will come from the patient's words. Let's hear what this patient had to say with less than 12 weeks following surgery. You couldn't do this a month ago?
I could do maybe a little of this a month ago, but over my head, no. I'll show you when I go over my head. This is what you want to see. This I couldn't do before the operation.
And how long ago was the operation?
A month ago, but the one before that was 18 months.
And you couldn't do it between the two operations?
No way.
To conclude, I feel that we have jumped from just trying to repair rotator cuffs to repairing them with the best possible outcome and return to function. By adding a BioBrace or a bioinductive scaffold as an onlay to what was a deficient repair, if it's revision surgery or a thin repair, we can now have our patients perform more physical activities at an earlier time. Provides thicker tissue, compatibility with the patient's native tissue, and allow them to have improvement not only in their clinical outcome, but their MRI and imaging that would follow surgery. Thank you.